Hello everyone, I am Moses. The 12-Man Fan Jam Show family was struck a tragic blow recently with the discovery of the sudden passing of longtime friend and guest panelist Tom Lucas, who passed away at the age of 50. We here at Seahawk Positivity Productions send out our heartfelt condolences and thoughts to his family and friends during this difficult time. This episode of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show is dedicated to our friend, Tom Lucas.
And now, it's time for another episode of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. A show made by 12s from around the world, for 12s around the world. I'm Mozette, and here's your host and my dad, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, I am Moses, and welcome to episode 815. The Rams edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show, as your Seattle Seahawks get ready to take on the Los Angeles Rams. So please put your tray table up and place your seats back in the full upright position. Keep your arms and legs inside the podcast at all times. Settle in with the desired sit or beverage of your choice, and what can I tell you? If you're ramming it too much, please consult a physician at once. There'll be no ramming here. So glad to be back for our 190th episode. We're getting closer and closer to number 200. So let's meet the posse for this episode. First, the yin to my yang. It is Matt from merry old England. Hi, Matt.
Good morning, Moses. How are you?
Oh, Matt, I don't think I could do much better. How are you, sir?
Well, I have just come off. I've got a negative COVID result, which is really good news.
That's yay.
Yes,
Congratulations. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. And tomorrow, at the moment, nationally in the UK, we're under a lockdown, so we're not allowed to leave our homes. But tomorrow, I get to leave my house.
Congratulations. What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? What are you going to see?
I've got to go get a flu shot.
Yay!
Let the good times roll.
Yeah,
My gosh.
They're holding the flu shot thing at the local soccer stadium, which is not unusual because the place is normally full of little pricks anyway. So
Brilliant! Boom. That was good. Good call.
Thanks.
Well done. And also there's our Shadow Hawk, Will. Hi, Will.
Hi, Moses. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I want to take a second to brag on my niece a little bit. She
Please.
plays cello in the Hope College Orchestra, and they just had their fall concert, which I got to watch on live stream just a little bit ago. And
Excellent.
She did an amazing job, and everyone there did an amazing job. It was just beautiful music.
That's awesome. Congratulations, Will's niece, on a job well done. I was in the band too. Played trombone.
Good job, Lydia.
Great go, Lydia. If you're listening, we'll say hi. Hi, Lydia. Thanks for listening. I'm sure she's saying, "Who are you?" Anyway, then of course there is Dustin. Hi, Dustin.
Hey, hello.
How are you, sir?
How are you?
Good. How's Kona, our 12-man fan jam
doing
show?
well. Can't complain.
You can't complain. What about the dog, Kona, our mascot?
No, she's good. She went out for a walk today. She was having a fun time. She was excited to see me when she got home, so that was fun.
Good.
It was this week was National Rad Tech Week, so we had all kinds of fun shit at work all week. So that was kind of cool.
Yes, she did. You had a special visitor the other day.
Oh yeah, Seahawks came through. That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Kind of, in a way.
In a way.
It was kind of more like Johnny Five dressed up as the Seahawks, which was kind of cool. I don't know if I can give Dennis some pictures here. You can put them up on the show if he wants to. It's kind of cool looking. They take like an iPad on a Segway and put a jersey on it and call it a Seahawk, and then they drive around and talk to people.
Now, what was there a face on it then, or what was that?
Yeah, it was like an iPad with FaceTime, and then like it was DJ Dallas and Brian Monet.
Okay, so it was their faces on it. Cool.
Yeah. So they were on an iPad somewhere, just talking to people.
Very, very cool. That's very nice of them to do. And by the way, happy Veterans Day a couple days later.
Oh yeah, appreciate it. Thank you
For everyone. Yes. Especially for Dustin and for all our veterans listening out there. Happy or belated Veterans Day to you all. Let's get to the show, shall we? Fat Tony?
Very well. Let's do this thing.
The show's run like a real NFL football game, 4 quarters and a halftime. First quarter, we usually have news. We'll have a special report. Unfortunately, some sad news that we'll share with you. Quarter 2, we will go over last week's loss against the Bills. Seahawks lost last week 34-44. And halftime, it is the greatest Seahawk-themed trivia game on the internet. I refer to 12-Man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia.
Other world.
of the world. Last week's winner, I believe, was Dustin, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the debut of the Knight Rider song, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, a little Knight Rider action. Yeah. So Dustin will look to make it 2 in a row, I believe.
That is the goal.
That is the goal. Yeah. Second half, we talk about that upcoming game between your Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams. Quarter 3, we'll have an injury report. We will have a weather report. We'll have a fashion report. We'll have a reading of Seahawks positivity from the Reverend Moses. And then we'll put all that information together, give you game balls predictions and game score predictions and prognostications for that game between the Seahawks and the Rams this Sunday. But before all that, we want you to like, share, subscribe to Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel. Join our Facebook group, 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We also have a wonderful game day thread on there that we do every game day. And with the show coming up, Friday will be the Cardinals game Thursday before we usually record. So instead of talking about the Cardinals game in this episode, we are going to do something special for the 12-Man Fan Jam Show Facebook members. We're going to put a short video from each of us talking about keys to that game, and our score predictions will be up on that game day thread for Thursday for the Cardinals game. So it's something to look at there. We're also on Twitter. We're also, our email is 12manfanjamshow@gmail.com, and look for this downloadable podcast on iTunes and Podbeans. Take us wherever you want, wherever you desire. And let's get to the first quarter and what is usually news, but instead is a sad special report. Usually this is a time where we turn the first quarter over to Will, and he shares with us amusing NFL stories. But unfortunately, as was mentioned at the start of this show, we here at the 12-Man Fan Jam Show are simply gutted to discover the news of the recent passing of a longtime friend, guest panelist here, and one of the original 12-Man Fan Jam Show members of the Facebook page, Tom Lucas, passed away at the age of 50. Tom left behind a wife and a wonderful little boy, and we were all just extremely sad to hear of his passing. So we decided we were going to take the first quarter, and we were just going to kind of talk. We've all, most of us have met Tom on a personal level. Dustin, what was your reaction when you heard the sad news?
I was pretty sad about that. I knew he was going through some hard times medically. We had actually talked about that offline, kind of going back and forth on Instant Messenger there on Facebook. And he, told me things that were going on and whatnot. And but I knew that he had some medical problems and he was having some issues. I didn't realize how serious they were, because even with talking to him, I thought he was gonna make it through it and everything would be all right. But yeah, I was shocked to find out that I was wrong. I thought for sure he was going to be okay. That was very, very sad. And I had the opportunity to meet Tom. At the same time, I think most of you guys did actually. It was we had that get together. Yep. And he came and he hung out, and he was fun to hang out with. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Shocking and sad.
He was a great guy, and Matt will attest to this. I'll share Matt here in a minute, but we kind of one of the things that Tom always did on our 12-Man Fan Jam Show Facebook page.
I'll bring this up too.
Is he was one of the first people to join our group that wasn't somebody that we actually knew. Like, we met Tom after he joined our the page, and we got to know him there. And bless his heart, he worked really hard to make sure that we got the latest Seahawk news. But
yes, he did.
He was always a day or two after we had already posted it and talked about it. So, for example, if Pete Carroll was hired as coach, one of us would put it up. We'd have like a 12-post page about it, a whole thing devoted to it. 2 days later, Tom would come and go, "Hey guys, did you hear Pete Carroll became the coach?"
Yeah.
But really, we laughed about it, and we, I used to say, "Oh my gosh, he didn't pay it." But the thing is, Tom, that just showed how much he cared about our little webpage, our little page. He wanted to make sure that we all knew the latest Seahawk news. He was very passionate about that. He's very passionate about the Seahawks, very passionate about politics. He's passionate about his family. I know he's passionate about a lot of things, and that just showed, that he wanted to make sure that we had heard all these news stories that he put on there. But I know, Matt, we used to talk about that, didn't we?
Yeah, we totally did. I mean, I was disgusted when I heard the news, because I didn't get to meet Tom in Seattle. I actually joined that show I think it was via Will's Mobile, if memory serves.
It was.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, and so I didn't actually get to meet him in person. But the thing with Tom as well, I remember in 2015 when he made his debut on the show, he actually messaged me, and he was like, "I'm really nervous. I'm excited, and I'm really nervous." So we had to
Aw.
sort of sit down and talk to him about the fact, relax. You're with friends, mate. You'll be absolutely fine. I think he was taking my spot for that day because we tried to keep the number of panelists, the same every week.
Right.
But I was off that week, so he was actually covering almost for me. So he was taking my spot, and he's like, "Oh, I don't." We went through all his settings to make sure he had the sound right, and he did a little sound test and everything. Such a great guy. And another thing I'll say about Tom is that Tom and I did not share the same political beliefs. He's very left wing, I was very right wing. But then at the same time, we still got together and we still had a good time together. Do you know what I mean? It's still possible.
Yes, absolutely.
We would talk and we would laugh and we talk about Seahawks football as well. Such sad news, and I send my love and support to his family and friends over there. It's just terrible news. It really is.
It really is, and he was very passionate about a lot of things, and that's what made him such a great person, because he was very passionate about everything that he took on. Will, some thoughts?
Well, it's my favorite story with Tom was, Dustin alluded to it. He came to our get together in 2016. And for those of you listening, we met up at the Armory at Seattle Center. And if you've never been there, that's basically the food court of Seattle Center. It's a converted Armory building. It's got all the restaurants and Starbucks and all sorts of stuff. And then there's a big central area where they can do presentations. They were doing some weird show while we were there.
Yeah.
But anyway, we show up and it's obvious we're not going to be able to record a show there because it is so loud, just so noisy, so much stuff going on. So we're trying to figure out what to do. And, Tom comes over. Hey, Tom, how you doing? We're sitting around, we're talking, and he's talking to me. And, Tom was kind of a soft-spoken kind of guy. And I could not hear a word he was saying. So I felt bad, I'm listening as best I can, but I'm kind of doing that thing where you nod and like,
Yeah. Acting like you're talking. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that was just a little story. I know he was having some really rough times towards the end, and I wish we could have done more to help him. I wish that whatever was ailing him that didn't have to end this way. But yeah, he was a great guy and loyal friend of the show and of all of us. And
yes,
we're gonna miss him.
Yeah, definitely. He was a very, very loyal person to the show and to the webpage and to all of us. And when we all found out, I know we were all just devastated, and we are still. So there's one announcement, a special announcement I want to make regarding Tom. Tom was in our Posse Prediction Challenge every year except for this year, and I had actually advised him. We had talked, and he had a lot of things going on physically and some other stuff. And I said, Tom, I think this year you might just want to take the year off and come back next year. Just you don't need to be making a prediction every week because you got other things to worry about. He's like, yeah, I really shouldn't. I said, yeah, you know what? It's no big deal. I don't know. Did he ever won? I think he did. I want to say he did. I think he won the individual challenge one year. Anyway, if he didn't, he was close a couple years. So what I'm going to do is our Posse Prediction Challenge champion, our individual champion every year, is going to get a special trophy, so to speak. And we're going to call that the Tom Lucas Trophy. So
very cool.
The Tom Lucas Trophy will go to the Posse Prediction individual champion at the end of the season every year from now on to whenever we stop doing this silly show, which may never happen. We might be in our 20th season and it'll still be the Tom Lucas Trophy. So that's our yeah. And I know the one I want to do with it. So I've got a good idea of how I want it to look, and it's going to have Tom's likeness on it in some way. So I've got somebody who has a laser printer that I think can etch into probably some plaque, a little bit of a likeness of Tom as part of that award. So, but we've got time to talk about that. But the Posse Prediction Challenge individual winner will, the highest score will get some kind of award called the Tom Lucas Trophy from this moment forward. So, Tom, final words. We are thankful that we got to meet you. We're thankful that you were part of our lives, and we're thankful for the opportunity to say that we've done some shows with you and that you contributed to our webpage, you contributed to our show, and we're all very thankful, and we're extremely sad, and wish you and your family nothing but the best from here on out. So this will end the first quarter. We usually have some music at the end, but instead we're going to take a break. But we're going to finish this quarter. We're going to play some blooper highlights of Tom Lucas when he was on the show, just a couple, to take us into the end of this break. You are listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We'll be right back after this.
Tom, just basic stuff. Tell us about yourself, Seahawks, blah, blah, blah. It'll probably be not that complicated.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Lots of shows still ahead. Right after Will's 60-second rant. Jesus Christ. I love it.
It was 66 he ran.
I thought he said sucky rant. I'm like,
my second sucky rant. So apparently I had a sucky one before that.
Then he said, like, I get my mouth fixed, and I was like, oh my god. No.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
That's the fact, Jack!
Holy shit, it's the second quarter.
Hey, look at that. You made it to quarter 2 of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. More fun than a virtual Zoom meeting. Yeah, we had a virtual Zoom meeting today. I got to tell you. We had a virtual Zoom meeting at my school. It was actually yesterday at the end of the day. And the kids, the principal was playing to the students. We went to virtual. We're going to virtual on Monday, and they decided yesterday. So the principal said, I'm going to set up a Zoom meeting. I want you to put the Zoom meeting on your wall so all the students can see it, so I can tell them what's going on. So, here are all these teachers at our school, and it's a pretty big size school. And all the teachers, I'd say good 75, 80 people logged into the Zoom. And the one lady I work with, do you ever go on a Zoom when they don't know that they're actually on camera?
Oh dear.
And the principal's talking, and she's like looking at her phone, and she's getting up and walking around. She's getting a drink. She's opening chips. And I'm going, does she know that everyone, and not just us, but the kids, everyone, kids and staff could see her.
Popping open beers.
Basically, no. Checking her porn. All right, anyway. That and all of that is better than having to talk about this game last week as the Seahawks lose to the Buffalo Bills 44-34. Matt, you groaned the loudest. That's what she said. So, Matt, you get the first shot at this game. I'm not going to ask what you think, but just, your reflections.
Well, let me put it this way. Touchdown, field goal, touchdown, missed field goal, punt, touchdown, punt, field goal. If you give the opposing team that kind of record, you're gonna lose probably. I mean, they didn't punt until the third quarter.
That's a miracle they punted.
Well, indeed. I mean, this is primarily a defensive failure all the way through. I mean, it didn't help that special teams decided to, drop the ball on the first kickoff,
right? With
a 65-yard. I just knew it was going to be one of those days.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here we go. Here it comes. And I suppose I could say that the offense, you can't go. I don't think you can afford to go a whole quarter like we did in the first quarter, not scoring anything. I don't think that's good enough either. But it just has to be a defensive failure this game because your offense scored over 30 points and you still lost by 10.
I agree.
So
if your offense scores 34, I think they did their job. Now they may have stumbled, but they did their job.
Yeah, and the last thing I would say is for me is secondary zone coverage. It may as well be covering the no parking zone outside the stadium. If, as for the way I look at it, if the ball is passed to a player and the TV camera suits over to that, follows that throw, and our secondary isn't anywhere in sight, anywhere.
Thank you.
By the time they've caught the ball, turned and started to run, we're probably too damn far off our men, to be honest.
Statsman Mark, I can't take credit for this, but Statsman Mark came up with the phrase COVID coverage. And I think that hit it perfectly.
Yep. Oh. Social distancing.
Yeah, social distancing at its best. I agree. Yeah, you put 34 points up. I'm sorry. That's enough to win a game. I'm not going to blame the offense. Offense had issues, but if you put up 34 points, I'm not going to complain about the offense, Dustin. Dustin?
Yeah. No, I wouldn't complain about the offense either. Not too much, other than the turnovers. You can't turn the ball over that much and expect to win.
Yeah.
I mean, football's a team sport, and it takes a team effort to lose that bad. They got their asses kicked. There's just there's no two ways about it. There's no excuses. There's you went out there, you didn't execute. The only thing that really caught anybody off guard, it sounds like, is that they didn't run the ball. The Bills.
Right.
But why would you?
Why would you?
Yeah, if you come out there and what you're doing is working, why change it? You force the other team to make an adjustment and stop you. If they can't stop you, they don't deserve to win. And that's exactly what happened with the Seahawks. They have to figure this shit out on defense, or it is not going to get any better.
Absolutely.
I think in the NFC, they're good enough to play against the NFC teams and probably do well in the playoffs, maybe make it to the Super Bowl. I truly think that, like, right now, as is with the NFC teams, but those top tier AFC teams and the offenses they provide. The Bills, even though I believe they're winning their division, they're still kind of an up and coming, like, B team, like second tier type team right now over in the AFC. And you got guys out there like the Chiefs, or, if the Ravens get right, those guys, and the Steelers this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you meet those guys in the playoffs, and the offenses they put up and the defenses that they're able to field, you're not winning the Super Bowl, even if you get through the NFC. So they have to figure it out.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree. And Russell had an un-Russell-like game. I mean, he threw for 350 yards, but two fumbles and 2 interceptions. Just, you can't do that. And it's unusual for that to happen, but he is human. Will, should we press the panic button on the defense?
Well, Moses, I haven't really been jumping on our coaching sucks, Norton needs to be fired bandwagon of late. But there are 2 plays in this game that really lead me to believe that at its heart, coaching cost us this game. I mean, we got beaten on the field, but our coaching, I think, really hurt us. First one is a play in the second quarter. Quentin Dunbar is playing more than 10 yards off Stephon Diggs, who runs a post pattern, catches the ball. Dunbar is just sort of not running full out after him, but just sort of tottering along behind him. Mm-hmm. Like, he's thinking, I can't run full out because I can't change direction. And I'm watching this game. It's like Quentin Dunbar had no business playing.
Right.
I would have rather thrown Lyndon Stevens out there and lived with a few rookie mistakes.
Amen.
Keep Dunbar available in case of an absolute emergency, but don't let him see the field if you can't absolutely help it.
Yeah.
Carroll said that they played off in large part because Dunbar was having a rough game, was feeling really bad. And if that's the case, he shouldn't have played.
Agreed.
Second one, fourth quarter. We closed the gap to 7 points. They're driving. We got them at 3rd and 16. They're on about our 40-yard line or so. We've got an excellent chance to get them off the field. Worst case, they kick a field goal and we're only down by 10 with most of the fourth quarter left to go. Pete Carroll, who has admitted this was his call, calls an all-out blitz against the offense. They run a screen pass. They get 25 yards, something like that. Drive down and score a touchdown. Now, we've already bitten badly on a screen pass in this game, so we know that they can run it. They're in a position where all they need is 5 or 10 yards to get into field goal range, so they're probably not going to run a play that's trying to get them the whole 16 yards. Right. They're going to run something that, okay, maybe it won't get them a first down, but it's going to get them close enough to kick the field goal. It was the screenplay is the perfect play in that situation, because odds are you're going to get 5 to 10 yards and then you can kick the field goal. And we call the defense the worst possible defense against a screenplay because there was nobody left to tackle the guy.
Right.
They were all blitzing. So that was inexcusable. Playing Dunbar was inexcusable. And Pete Carroll coming out and saying that, well, Dustin alluded to this, but Carroll coming out and saying he had no idea that the Bills were going to pass it on us so much. We made Nick Mullins look like Joe frickin' Montana.
Right? How many 400-yard passes have we given up this year?
Mm-hmm.
So if I were, and if you got a quarterback like Josh Allen, who is on his way up and has a cannon for an arm, dude's a gunslinger.
Yeah.
I'd want to have him tee off against this defense too. So it's just the coaching staff really dropped the ball on this one before we even took the field, and it hurt. And they've got to shape up as much as the players on the field have to shape up.
Yeah, I think you guys called it great. Something I want to talk about, and I've said this for a while, and I base it on the Seattle Seahawks of old. The idea, someone's going to say, well, they got 7 sacks in the game. You always complain they don't get any pressure. Okay, here's the thing about sacks. They might be the most overrated stat in football. Because I know Will and Dustin and Matt will attest to this, but back in the early 90s and the late 80s, when the Seahawks were being what I called the best 8-8 team in the league, which was they're going to be 8-8 and nothing but 8-8 under Erickson, right? They had that defensive line where didn't they all have 10 sacks one year, or it was close or something like that? You had Sinclair, you had Adams,
Cortez.
Cortez. It was a sack machine. They were 8-8. It doesn't matter if you get to the quarterback. That is the most overrated. I mean, we talked about get to the quarterback. But when you're giving up so many points and so many yardage, 7 sacks meant nothing in that game. Nothing. They might as well had 0.
He didn't even look uncomfortable.
No. And so, people say, well, we finally got our pressure. Yeah, but what's the point if you're going to give up a 10-yard pass every play? I'll take that every day. I turned to Lomo, and I think I can put this on the thread. I wouldn't even try to run it. Why would you even try to run? I mean, well, they're not running the ball. Well, they don't. I think the one guy, Myers, said, I'm surprised the Bills aren't running the ball. I'm like, are you watching the same game I am? If you get a free 10 yards passing the ball, why would you even think about it? It's easy money.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so I think sacks are overrated. So
the sacks, the problem is the sacks have to lead to turnovers.
Yeah.
There it is.
They have to force errant throws. They have
they have to make a difference in the game. You're right.
Yeah.
You need to get consistent pressure.
Yes.
And if the sacks come with that, that's great. But if you get 7 sacks and then don't get near them for the rest of the game, which is kind of what we did.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Exactly.
It's situational play. That's the point. If you can sack them on first down, that's fine. You can sack them on second down, that's fine. If they convert on the third, you're back where you started from.
Exactly.
So, you're right. As much as it is overrated, I am pleased to see the pressure. I am pleased to see that there is some life in that sack machine, because I think it's necessary. But I think you talked about the game day thread, and for everyone that's listening, remember we do have a game day threads on Facebook. Join us every game. We're there. And you'd actually copied and pasted. What was it? That
10-yard pass. Let me guess. A 10-yard pass on this play is what I wrote about 15 times. I did.
That's exactly what they were going to do. And I also, can I just say, you're not going to arm tackle down. I know tackling a quarterback these days is a rough business regardless, but you're not going to arm tackle somebody the size of him down. It's just not going to happen.
No. Absolutely not.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say one silver lining. I thought Carlos Dunlap looked pretty good for his first game.
You read my mind. Absolutely.
1.5. Wasn't it 1.5 sacks?
Yeah. And I think
big tackle for a loss too.
Yeah, and I think watching him play and looking at his stats from Cincinnati, that was kind of what I would call a typical output from him. Like that wasn't like, I don't think he's going to get 4 sacks in a game, but I think he's going to consistently get a sack like every other game. Like his 7 sacks, 8 sacks, 7 sacks. Those are his totals from the last few years. So I think he's like it looks like he's more consistent over every game as opposed to having like a game where he has 20 sacks and a game where he has none. And I think that's more important. Yeah, we need consistency. And I thought that's what I saw from him. A really solid, consistent Dunlap effort in that game is what I thought.
That's what gives me hope a little bit about this. And we talked about the sacks there and how they have to do a certain thing for it to matter, right? Well, part of that too, and part of those sacks is a lot of them are coming on blitzes. We're bailing out and going after the guy, right?
Right.
We need to be able to get consistent pressure with 4 guys.
Right.
So that we can actually have our linebackers drop back in coverage and help underneath. True. And if Dunlap is the guy that can lead the charge on that and win some one-on-one battles and get some pressure, then hopefully that helps take pressure off guys like Jared Reed, and it'll help
hopefully in
the rotation with Benson Mayoa when his ankle gets right, and with Green. So that guy gives me hope, but we have to be able to do it with 4 guys. We can't constantly count on Jamal Adams to do it and Bobby Wagner and
I agree
and other guys blitzing.
I agree. So listen, on that note, let's move past this game. It was an ugly game, and unfortunately, we now have to go to our 2-minute warning.
Holy shit, it's a 2-minute warning.
All right. It is time to do the Posse Prediction Challenge. And let's look at those scores. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. We have a challenge to last week. I received a message from one Mr. Chris Balding of Team Posse. And I would like to play that for you now. If you would like to take your attention to the audio from Chris Balding.
Good evening. I'm coming to you from the Oriental Mandarin, a local Chinese takeaway situated between a pub and a strip dancing club. Sadly, my assistants got it confused with my original request of the Mandarin Oriental Hotel in London's Knightsbridge. I'm here to read a statement on behalf of the most amazing, stable, genius member of Team Posse regarding the counting of points in the latest round of the Posse Prediction Challenge. To the Right Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawks Positivity. From Posse member Chris Balding, aka Norhawk. This is a formal protest regarding the score counting during the last episode of the 12th Man Fan Jam Show podcast. I demand a recount of the points scored during the Posse Prediction Challenge, as I believe I have not been awarded the correct score. I had an amazing score, a perfect score, but it seems that the counting of the score was stopped before all points were counted, and this has caused me to not perform as well as the pollsters had predicted. I demand that all legal points should be counted so that I may be awarded the correct score. I'm sure that Team 12 are trying to steal the title of Posse Prediction Champions away from Team Posse by subterfuge, and they are conspiring with the 49ers, Rams and Cardinals to dishonour this bastion of Seahawk fan enjoyment. I once again demand that all legal points be counted until we are victorious. The media does not declare the winner of this competition, and we will not concede until every legal avenue is closed to us. Hashtag count every point. Go Hawks!
Well, that sounded a little familiar.
Strong point. Made a strong point there.
He made a strong point. You know, he does have his lawyers contacting me, and after further review, I did not give him 2 points. So I have done that. So 2 points.
Upheld.
2 points, yes. Challenge was upheld. 2 extra points to Chris. But let's go to the challenge for this week. Score 34-44. Will and Carrie both said 34 Seahawk points, so they get 3. Carrie said 34-27. That's the closest, so a point to her. Prognostications, a point to Jose and Jimmy for a Dunlap sack and for Andy with 3 Seahawk sacks. No game ball. They lost. Over and under was over. A point to Little Mo, Carrie, Jimmy, Will, and Chris. Over is an understatement. That was way over.
I'm over this game.
I'm over this game. Individual scores for game 8. Carrie at 5, Will at 5, Jimmy at 2, Chris at 1, Jose at 1, Little Mo at 1. Total scores after 8 games look like this. Mike at 22, Jose at 20, Moses at 17, Will jumps up to 17, Jimmy at 16, Little Mo at 15, Chris at 13, Carrie jumps up to 12, Dustin, Andy, Mark at 9, Matty at 7. We go to the scores now. Team 12, 94. Team Posse, 75.
Am I bringing up the rear again?
We shaved off. Yes, you are. We were shaved off 1 point off of them, so we're getting there.
Man, why am I always last?
I don't know. You are. You got to really risk it this week. You got to risk it for.
Could I just say I got accused last week of going too soft with the whole 3 touchdown passes by Russell Wilson from Dustin?
That's true.
He managed to do bloody 2.
That's true.
We're not talking about that.
That's true. We want to remind you also that we put our predictions up on our game day thread in the 12-Man Fan Jam Show Facebook page, and we will also have a special audio presentation of our predictions on Thursday night against the Cardinals. So you might want to check the page for that. But before we do all that, we have another game to play here on Sunday. So let's go to halftime.
Holy shit, it's halftime.
All right, coming up, so much more show, so many questions. Did you ram it? Should one ram it? Should I call a doctor if I ram it? Answer to these and so many other questions still ahead. But first, another rousing edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. And that is coming up next.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Yes, it's halftime, and welcome to another fun-filled edition of the best play-along Seahawk-themed trivia game show on the internet. It's time for 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. And here's your host, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, thank you, me, and welcome to another fine edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. The trivia game that tests the knowledge of both our posse and our listeners. The contestants are the posse themselves, Matt, Dustin, and Will. And here are the... Get the sheep out of here! There are the rules! Get them out!
So here's how the trivia game works. There'll be 2 rounds of questions. Each contestant answers 1 question each round. If they get it correct, they get 1 point. After 2 rounds of questions, there'll be a final trivia question worth 2 points. If there's a tie after that, then the tie players go on to a special secret overtime question where the winner becomes reigning 12-Man Fan Jam Show Trivia Champion and also gets a prize chosen especially for them. As an added bonus to those listening on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel, the questions and possible answers will be displayed on your screen so you, the viewer and listener, can play along as well. If you do, please let us know how you did on the questions. Remember, there's no Googling, no phone a friend, and please, no wagering. However, there is a lifeline. Before taping this show, my 2 charming Seahawk fan children, Mosette and Little Mo, did take the quiz as well. If the contestants want to know what the kids said, they can ask that but once and only once during the entire game show and only in the first 2 rounds. Now let's get ready to play 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia.
All right, y'all know the rules.
Yeah, bad means no.
Yeah, I got those sheep out of here. So let's see. The topic is obviously LA and or the Rams. Dustin, 1, 2, or 3?
Let's change things up. I'll go first this time.
Dustin's going to go number 1. Matt, 2 or 3?
3, please.
Will, you are number 2.
Ram you.
No, okay, Wilbur. Is it a horse or sheep? Okay, Wilbur.
Of course.
Of course it is. All right. Number 1, Dustin.
Yeah.
First time the Seahawks played the Rams in Los Angeles. It was a long time ago.
Probably before I was born.
Yeah. How many points did the Rams score against the Seahawks in that first game? 45, 48, or 51? Ouch. Yes!
Yeah, none of that's good. I'm going to go with the lowest score. Was it 45?
Yeah.
I'm feeling optimistic.
I'm feeling feisty. I'm feeling happy and optimistic. I'm going to go 45. Listen to this garbage. Gee whiz. Little Mo went with 51. He wasn't so optimistic. Mosette went with 45. You went with 45. Yeah, 45.
Good.
Yay, they scored 45 points against us. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, Will?
Like the Bills.
Yes, sir.
Your question's about the Rams. Following what NFL season did the Los Angeles Rams leave Los Angeles for St. Louis? Was it 1993, 1994, or 1995? After what NFL season did the Rams leave Los Angeles for St. Louis? 93, 94, or 95?
The Rams left Los Angeles in 1994, and their first season in St. Louis was 1995.
Which one of those answers the question right?
I don't
They left after 1994.
I don't like you very much. Moses said, Little Mo said 94. Mosette said 95. You gave us a big soliloquy about 94, 95, and blah, blah. Yeah. All right, after the 94 season.
I didn't mean to willsplain it. Sorry.
Willsplain it.
That's a good... Yeah, we'll have to use that.
I like that. Willsplain it. Wow. Nice. All right. Matt, hello. Hey, Matt, how many times did the Seahawks beat the Rams in Los Angeles before they moved to St. Louis? 0, 1, or 2?
Ooh.
How many times Seahawks beat the Rams in LA before they moved to St. Louis? 0, 1, or 2?
I'm gonna have to ask. I have to ask the kids.
Have to. Little Mo said 0. Mosette said 1.
Well, let's be optimistic then. Go 2.
You'd be optimistic and go 2 because
the kids didn't say that one.
The kids could never.
We know they didn't win the first one if it was 45 points.
No, it was 0.
No.
That's the only one not to get a question right that time.
Oof.
All right, so we go to round 2. Will and Dustin are on the board, and Matt is not.
Yeah, how's that feel, Matt?
Yeah.
I blame. I'm not going to blame the coaching because the coaching's perfect.
Dustin, 4, 5, or 6?
Let's stick with it. I'll go 4.
Will, 5 or 6?
5.
Oh, you dirty rats. All right, here we go.
You dirty rat.
You dirty rats. Okay, question 4 goes to Dustin. Dustin, who did the Los Angeles Rams beat in the 1979 NFC Championship game to advance to their first ever Super Bowl? Was it the Cowboys, the Redskins, or the Buccaneers? Who did they beat in 1979 to get to the Super Bowl? The Cowboys, the Redskins, or the Buccaneers?
I feel pretty confident in saying it was not the Buccaneers.
Okay.
Well, the Cowboys are America's team for a reason, I guess. I'll say Cowboys.
You'll say Cowboys. Little Mo said the Cowboys. Mosette said the Cowboys. You said the Cowboys. Everybody said the Cowboys. How about them Buccaneers? It was the Buccaneers.
Oh.
Seriously?
9-0.
Doug Williams.
Doug Williams, Buccaneers. 9-0. They won that game.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were good early.
Yeah. Just
I
that.
they were
Yeah.
like the Seahawks.
And they,
one good year out of nowhere.
Yeah, that one good year out of nowhere, and they went right back to the bottom. All right. Number 5, that is Will. Will. Uh-oh. We're ramming it! Hey! Hey,
Okay. These things have to be done.
You're rocking. It always has to be done. You got to ram it when we play the Rams. All right.
Ram rules. You got to do it.
Got to do Ram rules. Slow
That's
clap.
probably a Ram.
Slow clap that bitch out. All right. Number 5. How many times have the Seahawks beat the Rams in Los Angeles? Wait a minute. Yeah, overall. I'm sorry. This is overall. So after they moved back to LA and before they moved to St. Louis. And we all know the answer before this. But how many total times have the Seahawks beat the Rams in Los Angeles in the history of the world? 1, 2, or 3?
Of the world.
Of the world.
Did you follow that question? Was that clear enough?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
You need to add a number to 0, yeah.
Add a number to 0.
Seattle playing the Rams in Los Angeles. How many times have we beaten them there?
Yes. Ever.
In the world.
1, 2, or 3?
I think just the one time a couple of years ago.
So you think that's your answer?
No. No, I'm gonna go 2.
Are you really gonna go 2?
I'm gonna go 2.
You're gonna go 2. Okay.
Oh,
Little Mo said 3. Mosette said 2. You said 2. You said 1, and they're like, no. I'm gonna go to 2. It's 1.
Okay.
It's 1.
Yeah, I thought
Thanks.
I know we beat them for the first time in like '89. I thought maybe that game was in LA, but well, I guess not.
All right.
Now, I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but I mathed right there.
Oh, you did.
You did.
Wow.
I would just like some credit for that.
Oh my God.
Man, this is 2020.
The world's gone mad.
Oh my gosh, Dustin mathed. Wow, unbelievable. Okay, Matthew. Hello. The last time the Seahawks beat the Rams in Los Angeles, and the only time apparently, was back in 2017. How many interceptions did Jared Goff throw in that game? 1, 2, or 3? How many interceptions for Jared Goff against the Seahawks 2017? 1, 2, or 3?
2.
2!
That was fast.
I know. Little Mo said 2.
No.
Mosette said 3.
Hmm.
You said 2. Yeah, it was 2.
Wow.
Look at this. It's a tie score. It's a tie score. You all have 1. But you know what? it doesn't mean anything. And you know why it doesn't mean anything? Time for the final question. Final question. We're 2 points. Winner crowned halftime champion of this show. It is a number
of the world.
It's a number. Whoever's closest without going over gets the 2 points. And if you all go over, whoever's closest gets it. Our order, will go Matt, Will, and Dustin. And here it is. Matty, Ray?
Yes.
All right. We are talking about last year's game. The Seahawks played the Rams in Los Angeles last year. How many receiving yards did DK Metcalf have in that game? Receiving yards for DK Metcalf in the Rams-Seahawks game from last year.
70.
70.
Mm-hmm.
Or 70.
70.
Well, he said 70.
This is the game in LA last.
Yes.
I seem to recall we got our asses, so I'm going to go low and say 45.
45. Dustin, 70, 45.
I'm still feeling optimistic. I'll say 71.
Ooh. Price is righted.
He did indeed.
He did indeed. Well, my fine gentlemen, the amount of yards receiving that DK Metcalf had in Los Angeles last year, 78.
Oh, nice.
Dustin repeats. Knight Rider.
Way to set the table, though, Matt. That was right in there.
Oh, God.
Knight Rider. Congratulations, Dustin. Job well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Y'all were pretty good there on your calls. Order that trophy, Dustin.
There we go. I'm not as good at typing as Matt.
That's all right.
He's not as practiced.
Nobody is. Yeah, it's not as practice, but that's 2 in a row for you, my friend.
Hell yeah, one more, it's a streak, right? Like
that's what I hear. You have to ask that Matt about that. But while you do that, I will remind everybody this has been another crowd-pleasing, heart-stopping, award-winning, almost overtime edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia
of the world.
We'll be back in the second half of the show. David Hasselhoff, Patricia McPherson, take us to the break.
Hello, Michael.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Holy shit, it's the third quarter.
About that win in LA in 2017. A couple days before the game, Michael Brockers goes on Twitter and posts something about how playing Seattle always makes him smile. So after we won the game, I took a screenshot of the final score and replied to his tweet with that and asked if he was smiling, and he blocked me. So.
Oh, well, that's a great story.
That's pretty good.
That's awesome, man. Thank you for sharing that with us.
No problem.
Okay.
He sounds like he's in host mode there.
He does, yeah. And all righty then. Dustin, congratulations on winning.
Thank you. I tell you what, if I win again next week, since I mentioned a streak, I'm going to have that Will Ferrell from freaking, what's that movie? He's like, we're going streaking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Old school. I'm going to play that as soon as if I win, I'm going to play that right away.
Excellent. Good call.
Sacrifice a live chicken for luck.
I will. I'll do that.
Excellent. So welcome to quarter 3 of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. Demanding a recount to last week's game. I don't think we're going to get it. All right. It is time for us to talk about the Seahawks as they take on Los Angeles Rams in Los Angeles this Sunday at 4:25 Eastern Standard Time, 1:25 p.m. Seattle time. In England,
9:25 p.m.
9:25 p.m. All right. Well, look, let's go ahead and see how healthy these teams are by turning to our own doctor, Dr. Dustin, with the 12-Man Fan Jam Show injury report. Dr. Dustin, tell us the news.
Doctor, give me
I think it's fair to call this week's injury report the Seahawks injury report.
Oh, see, it's fair, but it's not nice.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
The Rams have nobody listed as out.
Wow.
And they only have 3 people listed as questionable. And from what I understand, what I was reading, they were late in the week as far as even showing up on the injury report. And I think they're all going to play. So I don't think any of this matters, but I'll say it anyways. So now offensive line, Brian Allen has a knee injury. Terrell Lewis has a shoulder injury. And outside linebacker Leonard Floyd has a knee injury. That's it. That's their report. That's who they have on the injured list. And like I said, I don't even think they're really injured. They maybe just threw some stuff up there because they have to. I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah.
Pick 3 guys at random. Okay, you're questionable.
They'll make you look good.
We used to do that at football practice with the kids. We'd be out there practicing, and we have to get ready in case somebody gets injured. So we're like, okay, you, 32, you have a hangnail. You're out for the game. Somebody else in there. Just a practice. But yeah, they're way too healthy. I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like that either. What about us?
We can fix that.
Yeah, definitely. Seahawks, on the other hand, this will take a minute. We have several players that are questionable. Actually, you know what? I'll start with the guys that are out. Just get that out the way.
Good idea.
Guys that are out. First one here, unfortunately, is Shaquille Griffin. He's still out. They have him listed as concussion/hamstring. So I don't know if he hasn't made it through the concussion protocol yet or whatnot. But it's been a couple weeks.
He's hurt his leg, but he can't remember it.
But a boom.
Yikes. If he's still suffering effects of the concussion, that's a problem, because what can happen with that? Because it's already been 2 weeks and he still hasn't cleared. If that's true, because he's still listed as concussion.
Carol was saying it's the hamstring at this point, so it's
Thank God.
Okay.
It's that.
Good.
Okay, good deal. That makes me feel a lot better, because there's this thing called post-concussion syndrome, where you don't have a concussion anymore, but you can have lagging effects that are like the effects you had during the concussion for a long time. I remember there's this guy from my hometown hockey team. His name is Terry Ryan. He got a concussion, and he had to retire because of that same issue. So I was getting worried there.
Yeah,
Malik McDowell syndrome.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah. All right. So we have a hamstring injury there, which sounds like saving grace. That's a good thing. That's soft tissue. It will get better, just not yet. Ethan Posick, surprise out this time.
Yeah.
He has a concussion as well. He played the entire game last week. He self-reported after the game with some symptoms, and that put him in concussion protocol, and he hasn't cleared it yet, so he's not playing. We'll have a backup center this week. Brian Monet, who made Johnny 5 trip to Madigan this week. Thanks for showing up, Brian.
Yeah.
Has an ankle injury. He's out. And this guy is listed as questionable, but he is, for all intents and purposes, he's out of this game. He's not even traveling with the team. That is Quentin Dunbar. He's got that knee injury.
Yeah.
He obviously couldn't move out there last week. So it's better that he's not there.
Agreed.
Questionable players. We have 2 game time decisions that they audibly said were game time decisions. And that's going to be Carlos Hyde and Chris Carson. Surprise, our running backs that we won out there.
Hopefully we'll get one.
Yeah, Carson's got that foot injury he's been dealing with, and Hyde has that hamstring. Sounds like Pete thinks that Carson might have a better shot than Hyde, so we'll see what happens there.
Good.
Yeah. That being said, with the game coming up on Thursday, I wouldn't be surprised if both of these guys are they hold them out and save them for the game where we lost, because we still have one game against the Rams where we can make it up. Even it out. We don't against Cardinals if they sweep us, if they win on Thursday. So I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they hold both of them out.
Yeah.
Benson Mayowa's got an ankle injury. He's questionable. Sounded like he probably wasn't going to play though.
Right.
AJ Wright has an ankle injury. I'm sure he'll play. He's listed as questionable, but I think he'll be in there. And then we have Penny Hart has a knee injury he's dealing with. Freddie Swain has a foot injury. And then, unfortunately, Allen Robinson has an illness. So our defensive line getting a little bit thin at defensive end.
A little thin.
See what happens. It's good that we got Dunlap back, and then we got Snacks is coming in.
Yep. Good
thing. Of note here, Ugo Amadi's back and Apati's back.
Good.
Yep,
We need
that's
him on it
helpful.
for
And
sure.
then the injury report, I'll just say that the NFL still hates Josh Gordon.
And that they do.
Yeah,
you may never see him again.
There's
I know.
nothing coming about that guy.
Sad. Very sad. I miss Penny. You said Penny, I get excited because I think of, you remember Rashad Penny used to play for the Seahawks? Remember that guy?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
He's so update on him. He's actually cleared to practice. So
Oh, good. Well, maybe
he'll be back sooner rather than later.
I'm glad to hear that. We'll look forward to that. Thank you, Dr. Dustin, with a very thorough injury report. And now let's take a look at what the weather and fashion is going to be for the game by turning to a guy living in England. It's time for the 12-Man Fan Jam Show Weather and Fashion Report with Matt from merry old England. Oh, Matt.
It's raining man.
Yes, thank you, Moses. So, last week, if you remember, I was so excited to once again have some meaningful weather to report on in Buffalo due to the number of domes that we've been playing in recently. So actual weather to report was quite exciting, albeit it was bright, sunny, warm with no wind, so boring old weather. Well, this week we head off to the SoFi Stadium in Southern California, and yes, of course, it's a dome. I don't know why I bothered, to be honest. I don't know what's the point of this whole segment, to be frankly honest. I mean, what is it with teams who can't play on the open air? It's not as if this grass is real. Do you know what I mean? I mean, It's all plastic anyway. Anyway, what to wear? So no idea what the weather is going to be like, but I'm guessing it's going to be fully climate controlled with that strong new car smell. You know, that kind of new leather on leather smell that you get. You know, it smells great when you first get in it, but then after a while it starts to give you a headache.
Yes.
Now, so what to wear for this game? Well, Moses, there too, I feel as if the football fashion gods have kicked me in the knackers. The whole point of this segment, both weather and fashion, has just drained away because fans are not allowed at this game. So if you're watching from home and you want to join in the feeling and flavor of Inglewood, California, which is where we'll be, you could do worse than to dress up as Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys, who was born in Inglewood.
Nice.
Yes. Just make sure you learn the words to God Only Knows and grab some friends to be your socially distanced bandmates.
Aww.
Nice. Yeah, nice.
That's nice.
But if I were going to this game, you know, if I was going to this game, well, there really is only one thing that I could wear. I'd have to throw on something sexy and look fabulous from H2T, honey, as I strut my stuff, smizing and striking poses like Tyra Banks from America's Next Top Model, who was also born in Inglewood. I tell you, the place is full of beautiful people. Now, whatever you're wearing, just make sure you throw a Hawks jersey over all of it, and you'll be good to go. With all that being said, it looks like it's going to be perfect Seahawks weather. So, Moses, it's back over to you.
God only knows. There you go. Little God only knows for you there, Brian Wilson. Beach Boys, and maybe one of the best albums ever made, Pet Sounds.
Agreed.
The album that made the Beatles nervous. True story. They went over with Pet Sounds, and John and Paul were like, we got to come up with something, and that's when they came up with Sgt. Pepper. Anyway, all right. I doubt it, Brian Wilson, but well done, Matt and Dustin. Well job on your reports.
Thank you for the well job.
Well job. Well job on your reports.
Well job, everyone.
Well job.
And now, please be upstanding and welcome our own Reverend Moses from the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity for his sermon for this upcoming game. Oh, Reverend.
Yes! It is I, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity. How is everyone this evening?
Good, thank you, Moses.
Good, doing well.
Wonderful. It's been a long week. It has. Cleolanda, my church organist, is still reeling from last week's disappointing loss to the Bills, and she went on a little bit of a binge, I'm afraid. Nothing but drugs, booze, and depravity so bad that decorum prohibits me from saying it here. But she's recovered well enough to join us, and she will join us later. But while she's sobering up, friends, let's get some church up in here. I am so glad to once again be here as we look to regain our winning ways and continue on the road to the promised land with one true power of Seahawk Positivity, reading from the book of the 2020 NFL season, chapter 10, verses 3 to 12. Now they did enter the land of Lala and the land of stars. The lights were bright. but we were not afraid. We were approached by those lambs who would not lie down on Broadway. The sheep did meet up and try to drive those within Seahawk positivity back into their land. Ah, but the power was too strong. The lambs did fall silent upon thy land, and the land of film and entertainment was silenced within the power of Seahawk positivity. There was much rejoicing throughout the land. Yes, this is the word, my brethren. Oh, we have that power flowing through all of us. Do you feel it flowing through you? Do you feel it? Raise your hands if you feel it. Raise them up high. Yes, raise them like you are blocking that California sun from your eyes. It's so bright down there. Now, if your hands are raised and you believe in the power of Seahawk positivity, that's here and I'm in nice and loud.
I'm in.
Yes, and if you believe in the power to give our defense the ability to make Jared Goff a blood, let's hear it. I'm in nice and loud.
I'm in.
Fingers crossed, I'm in.
Yes, and if you believe in the power to give our offense the ability to make Aaron Donald look like Donald Duck, except he better have pants on. Look it up. That duck is nasty. Got no pants on, like Dustin on a Saturday night. Little naked legs all over the place. It's embarrassing. Let's hear it. I'm in nice and loud.
Like Dustin on a podcast.
Yes, it is. That's the power, my brother. Put those hands down. We are loud and proud. Oh, Rams, you are so 2018. You know what Rams stand for? RAMS. Really are mighty sad. They are sad. Cleolanda, honey, play that funky music and take us out. Yes, you old bat, this has been your self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity. Go forth and spread the good word of Seahawk Positivity. Praise Largent, praise Cortez, praise Walter Jones, praise Kenneth Eastley, praise Pete Carroll. Go Hawks, and that's third quarter. You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We'll be back with our predictions for this game right after this.
Well done, Reverend.
Bless y'all. Bless y'all.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
If there's a better use for the internet, I haven't found it.
Holy shit, it's the fourth quarter.
Bills to pay. Come on. I'm at the local Butterwater Buffling Hoe.
I don't like you guys sometimes. You know that?
That's fair. That's very fair.
Yeah. No, I do. I love you guys.
I give him that.
And you know what I love too? I love the fourth quarter. The fourth and final quarter.
I'll be there. Hello.
Yeah, we are high. We're going live.
We're
Final
live.
quarter of this episode of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. In this quarter, we make our predictions, our prognostications, and of course our game balls for the upcoming game between your Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams. And they'll be ramming it because no one rams it like the Rams. All right. Seahawks take on the Rams Sunday, 4:25 Eastern, 1:25 Seattle, 9:25 p.m. England. Seahawks 1.5-point underdogs this time. First time this season they were underdogs. And the over-under is at 54.5. I'm sorry. I hear the groove and I have to stop. We're going to ram it. All right. Everybody ram it. All right. Let's ram it with our picks. Team 12, Little Mo. My son told me to say this, and I'm going to. Little Mo said 34-30. He said, DK Metcalf, how can I say this? DK Metcalf will shit on Jalen Ramsey.
Ooh.
And his prognostication is there will be a DK will catch a touchdown with Jalen Ramsey all over him. A one-on-one coverage that he will just completely destroy Ramsey on. And game ball to Lockett. Jose, Seahawks or Rams, 37-34 Hawks. Prognostication, we get 2 interceptions. Game ball to Jamal Anderson. Mike Pascal, Hawks will silence the Lambs this week. Can you tell I just listened to the Hawkoween episode? Despite not winning in the new empty stadium. Hawks 27, LA 24. Game ball. Though DK's a sure bet, I'm going with Adams for a refresh. Prediction, Hawks get 2 sacks. And yes, that is a bold prediction these days. After 7, I don't know, but yeah, it is. Carrie, hate this week. Hate it, hate it, hate it. Hate playing the Lambs.
Harry hates every week.
She does. Who we are 1-3 against the last 4 means. I simply don't see how we combat their very good defense. I hate to type this. Uh-oh, here it comes. Hate it so much.
She's got a feeling.
Yeah. Lambs 30, Seahawks 27.
She's fired.
Prognostication: Seahawks only score 1 touchdown in the first half. Ouch. Game ball to Metcalf. I just don't see how our team, as incomplete as it is right now, could beat a quarterback that's averaging 250 a game when our defense is allowing the most yards in each game. I think we are ranked pretty close to dead last on defense. I'm gutted. I don't know if it just means I need my medication intake. We will see. I hope it's your medication.
Positivity your way, Carrie, because you're losing. You're lacking it.
And Carrie, I just hope it is your medication intake. No offense, but we'll see. And if that medication happens to come from a bottle at the liquor store, I'm okay with that. All right, Jimmy.
Brown paper bag.
Yeah,
no judgment.
No judgment. No judgment here on the show.
Nope.
Jimmy, most of the bandwagon 12 seem to think the Hawks have no shot in this game. Oh, well, isn't that ironic? Wrong! Hawks take this one 33-30. Game ball to Lockett. Prognostication, Dunlap with another sack. I was not calling Carrie a bandwagon. I would never call her a bandwagoner, ever. Team Posse, Andy. Seattle 34, Rams 24. Game ball to DK. Prognostication, the defense scores a touchdown. You got to love the D, right, Matt?
Gotta love that D.
Love the D.
Unless it's really soft. I hate that. I hate when they're so soft off the man. Do you know what I mean? You
love a tough D. Man. Love a hard D.
Gotta be on the man.
Yeah, love a hard D. All right. Chris, body. Yes. Let's hope Russ serves up some nice lamb cutlets or chops after a bit runny tummy caused by some extra spicy buffalo wings.
I like that. That's funny.
Yeah.
I should start doing these in an English accent. But I'm not going to. But we're back on. I know. I'm not going to. Matt's like, no.
Don't do that.
Yeah, we're back on home, and Russ will be. We're not back at home, but Russ will be in the kitchen. With that, the final score will be Seahawks 35, Rams 30, and the O-line.
He means he's back at home. He's not at his press conference anymore.
That's what it is.
The Oriental place.
Yeah, the O-line helps to hold Donald to less than 2 sacks in the game. While my game ball, are you really telling me that Donald less than 2 sacks is going to be a no? No, we're not doing that. My game ball, Adams goes after Goff and shows why he can't handle the pressure. I'm not going to allow him to say Aaron Donald gets less than 2 sacks, and that's going to be a prognostication because the odds of him getting more than 2 sacks are astronomical, even against us.
I don't know, man. I'd put 2 sacks as being kind of the over-under if I was setting the line.
You think so?
I do.
You guys think that's all right? Okay, I'll let him have it then.
We have a backup center.
All right, Donald less than 2 sacks. We're going to go with it. All right, you talked me into it. Shows why he can't handle the pressure. All the best and go Hawks. All right, Dustin.
Yeah.
What you got for us?
First thing I got is I think it was Mike mentioned the Halloween show and the Sounds of the Lambs. First thing that popped in my head, I was like, "Hello, Gophreys." In my head, I don't know why that's just me.
Oh, fava beans always come to my mind.
Yeah. All right, moving on.
Yeah.
Here we go. My guess is the Seahawks are going to give up a bunch of points and they're going to score a bunch of points.
Well, that'd be unusual.
Yeah. 37-28. I'm going to say Seahawks win this.
Okay.
My prognostication is that the defenses are going to do some good stuff and they're going to force 3 turnovers.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah, they need to.
Yeah, they do.
For us to win this.
They do.
So, and then my game ball, because I think part of our game plan is going to be to run the ball more than we have to keep their offense off the field.
Okay.
So I'm going to say DJ Dallas because like I said earlier, I don't think Hyde or Carson are going to play. I think they're going to save them for the Cardinals game. So I think DJ Dallas gets a game ball. I think we're going to go heavy with him this week.
So your game ball is DJ Dallas. Is that what you just said?
With less enthusiasm, yes.
All right. Right. Sorry. All right. Hey, Will, what you got for us? I don't even want to know what that sound is that you're doing.
I was so excited about snacks playing, I had to snack a little myself.
That did not sound like you were chewing. I'll tell you that right now.
For the record, it was a handful of almonds.
Will was chewing.
He had some nuts.
Chewing. Nice.
So anyway,
moving on.
Looking back on our last game against the Rams, the Sunday nighter in LA, I couldn't help but notice that even though their defense was beating us up and they were running the ball down our throat, Jared Goff was doing his level best to keep us in the game by throwing 2 second half interceptions, one of which was a pick six.
God love him.
So my prognostication is he's going to do it again this week. He's going to throw at least 2 interceptions, and at least one of them will be a pick 6 for us.
We'll go with 2 INTs, all right?
Oh, throw the pick 6 in there.
Okay.
We get a pick 6 against Jared Goff again.
Yeah,
you want the pick 6 instead of the 2 INTs or both? Let's go with the pick 6.
Let's go both.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This is why we're down 19 points, but go ahead.
Because we play the game properly.
Yeah.
Hey, positivity, Moses. Positivity.
What's your score? Did you give me a score?
I haven't gotten there yet.
Sorry.
My game ball is going to go to Carlos Dunlap, who is going to build off of a pretty decent debut performance and play even better this week.
Excellent.
And my score is going to be Seahawks 37, Lambs 31.
All right, 37-31. Hi, Matt.
Hello.
How are you, Matt?
I'm okay, thanks. You?
Good. Hey, Matt, have you rammed it?
Not recently.
Let's ram it. Ram it.
Yeah.
Ram it. Oh, look out. Big bad. Jackie Slater's going to ramp.
Big bad Jackie, stop us all.
Okay, enough of that. Matt,
Why
sorry.
does every freaking like rapper in the 80s sound like DJ Scat Cat from the Paul Abdul?
Because
so
it was
true.
The 80s, Dustin.
It was the 80s.
Yeah,
so true.
Crazy. Rap's
so
gone a
true.
long ways, I tell you
It
that.
has. Sorry, Matt. We didn't mean to interrupt. Go on.
It's
You
okay,
may
it's
proceed.
I think the score is going to be Seahawks 27, Rams 24. I'll give the game ball to Lockett, I think, on this one. My prognostication, well, I've written this down. This game be going to overtime.
Oh, God.
I don't know why I put that. This game be going.
It's like well job.
Well job. I work in comms.
Well job.
Well job
This
on writing
game
that
be
down.
going to overtime.
This game be going to overtime. Wow, my head hurts
Rubs
hearing
the
that.
lotion on its body or it gets the hose.
All right. Well, I guess it's my turn, isn't it?
God.
So
You may proceed.
I may proceed.
Please
Thank
proceed.
you. All right. So let's see here. Last week, we saw the Seahawks defense give up more ground than Donald Trump from the mailbox. Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
It's a political joke.
It's a political joke. 44 points and lots of, well, that never happened for the Bills offense before in the history of the world moments. It's so nice our defense could be so generous to others. Perhaps they can apply for a job as a mall Santa this year or a virtual mall Santa, I guess. How would that work? Hi, Billy. Sit on your mom's lap and tell me what PlayStation game you want, but I digress. The Seahawks traveled to La La Land this week to face the 5-3 Rams, who boast the newest uniforms in the division. And speaking of the new Ram uniforms, thank God their helmets finally match their uniform. When the carpet doesn't match the drapes, it can be disappointing. But enough about Will's fantasies. Ooh, the Rams.
And Mark's tokens.
Mark's tokens. The Rams are led on offense by Jared Turn Your Head and Goff, who looks like the illegitimate brother of Ryan Gosling, which is perfect because they both play in La La Land. Ah, yes, La La Land, the story of pursuing your dreams, of success, not the nasty X-rated dreams Matt has every night, but I digress. On defense, the Rams are led by all-world and one-man wrecking ball Aaron Donald. Now, usually when I have someone on the other team with 2 first names, I poke fun of the guy, but not this time. Mr. Donald, if you're listening, I find you and your name very intimidating. The Seahawks will have to find a way to keep Aaron Donald from planting Russell Wilson in the ground and score on the second best scoring defense in the NFL. Of course, holding down offensive juggernauts like the Giants, the Washington team, and the Bears is hardly an unbelievable feat for any defense. It's like bragging about beating Dustin in spelling or Matt in chair sitting. I mean, sure, you win, but are you really surprised? The Seahawks offense has been bright as a new Hollywood start this season, averaging over 34 points a game for the Seahawk offense. However, the defense has been so bad, they're box office bust, allowing over 360 passing yards a game and over 30 points. It's got the makings of a good old-fashioned Western shootout on Sunday. But you know what? The Seahawks, they love LA. We love it! Watch the Seahawks show the Rams who's in charge. Watch my game ball. DJ Dallas scored 2 touchdowns. Watch Jim McVay get gray hair. So Seahawks win 34-30. We love it. Book it. Wow.
It is so booked.
That was entertaining, was it not? Are you not entertained?
Yeah, I think we just learned the Rams head coach's name is Jim McVay. Is that what I heard?
I don't know. Coach McVay. I don't. It's
relation to Nanny McPhee.
Billy Joe Jim Bob McVay. Who cares?
Bob Cooter McVay.
Jim Bob Cooter. Coach McVay's going to get some gray hairs.
Jim Bob Cooter.
That much we know. So it looks like it's time to bring another wonderful and amazing 12-man fan jam show to a very sad close. Maybe. I don't know. Is it a sad close? I guess it is. We're so glad that you joined us on this show, and we hope that you learned something maybe on this show. I don't know. What did we learn? We learned that Will likes the willsplain things.
Yep.
We learned that Dustin, he mathed.
I did math.
He did math.
I'm giving myself a gold star.
We learned that Matt loves a hard D.
Likes that press coverage.
Yeah, Will was chewing on some nuts. This game be going to overtime, and well job, everyone. So, on behalf of my partner in crime, Matt, Newshound Shadowhawk, Will, Statsman Mark, Dustin as the Beaver, Roger Goodell, Mosette, Little Mode, Jimmy, Chris, Tom Lucas, Jose Carey, Mark, Ty Turner, Andy Northern Hawk, Kona, Mike Pascal, Tina Brock, Vince Ferragamo, Jackie Slater. Good night, everybody. Go Hawks. Slow clap that bitch out.
Slow clap it out.
Slow clap it.
Slow clap it out.
Go Hawks.
Grab it.
Go Hawks, everyone.
And don't forget. Ram it, everybody.
And we're
that
out.
will never get old, that video.
No, it will never get old.